Hi guys, it's Drawlaw here, and today we're going to be tackling Inktober day number 13. So the prompt today was joy, so I'm going to be taking you guys along as I sketch, ink, and color a full illustration based on that prompt word. But before we get started, please make sure to give this video a big like, hit the subscribe button, and ding the bell to receive notifications. So first off, I'm starting with this sketch. So when I thought of joy, the first thing that came to my mind was a kid and they're dressed up in a costume and they're holding their full trick-or-treating basket that's filled to the top with candy. And I was thinking, I'm like, should I make the kid a boy or a girl? I'm like, I can make it a girl and she's dressed up like a princess. But in this channel, if you follow me a lot, you'll notice that I draw princesses all the time. So I wanted to try something a little bit different today. So I decided upon a boy and he's dressed up like a pirate. And I'm so happy that I chose this because it was so fun to design his character and make some decisions like that. Here I'm going ahead and drawing this pumpkin basket, and I've probably had those pumpkin baskets every year when I was a kid trick-or-treating, and it's just so nostalgic when I was looking back at references to try to figure out the proportions and what it looks like. Now for most of my drawings, I normally use Prismacolor liners, but today, since it's Inktober, I decided to try something new and go ahead with these PAPERMATE pens. I'm going to be using these colors and just try something new. So I kind of thought ahead and I was thinking I want the color that I outline in to be a little bit darker than the color I color in. So I made sure, like this pumpkin for example, I'm outlining it with a darker orange than I color it. That way you can see the outline. I also erased it before outlining it because one downside of these pens is that if you draw on top of pencil, the pencil will show, and I didn't want it to. So always before I outlined or colored it, I always erased the pencil that was under. And you know, I really like the look this gives. I don't know why, but I feel like it looks a little bit more realistic than black liners do. I don't know, just because it's the same color as it's being colored with, so it almost makes it look like it doesn't have any line art at all. I mean, unless you look close and you see that there actually is line art, it's just colored. I see a bunch of YouTubers do that all the time, so I decided to give it a try, and I definitely liked it. I know that for sure in the future, I will be using these again in videos. Now moving on to the pants. I had to decide if I was going to make the pants blue or the shirt blue, and since I had already picked out the blue, I decided I'm just gonna draw it with the pants. If I wasn't gonna make the pants blue, they would have been brown. What do you guys think? Do you guys think I made the right decision? I think I did. And shading it was a lot of fun. I don't know why, but I really like the way the shaded jeans look. It just looks so cool and just like a faded denim. I really like the way it looks. Then with the shirt that I'm doing, it's a striped shirt. So I shaded the outside of it gray because the stripes are going to be red and white. And I thought, what should I use to be white? Like, how do I outline something that's white? And I didn't use any black for this, surprisingly, because it's like, it would have been like using a Prismacolor liner. So I really focused on the color. So instead of using black, I settled for a gray, and I'm glad I did because black would have been just way too harsh. And then I colored the rest of the stripes in with red, and I also outlined the stripes on the inside with the red pen. And then shading this took a little bit because unlike how I normally just use one color to shade, I used two individual colors and I kept switching off from red to gray, and while it was a little bit time consuming, I'm happy with the result, so I don't mind. Okay. Now moving on to the skin. Now for the skin, as you'll notice, most of this illustration I'm using Winsor & Newton brush markers, but because I feel like my Ohuhu markers have the best skin tones, I decided to use my Ohuhu markers for the skin. I outlined it with the orange PAPERMATE marker, and I'm just coloring it with the peach Ohuhu. And now moving on to the face. I was kind of nervous about the face because I had to erase the underneath pencil enough so that it didn't show, but also I couldn't erase it too much because I had guidelines there, like where the eyes were going to be, where the eyebrow was going to be, where the nose was going to be, stuff like that. Luckily though, it was just enough and you don't really see the pencil underneath, and I put the facial features in the correct positions. That's good. I also added an eye patch just to really tie in that pirate look. I just think it's just ties into the stereotype a little bit more. And yeah, now moving on to his hair. You're not going to see too much of his hair because on his head I put this red bandana scarf thing. A lot of the references I saw for little boy pirates, they had that, and I thought it was a really nice feature, so I decided to include it as well. Okay, and I'm just really happy with the way the whole character design turned out. Like, just the whole outfit, how the red goes together, and the jeans and the eye patch. Like, it just screams pirate, so I'm just happy about that. Now for the sword, I outlined it in brown and put some of these lines in certain places to make it look like a wooden sword. And it actually gives off that effect, which is so cool. And I'm just making the eye a little thicker, just a few tweaks here and there, but for the most part, this is the finished product. I'm so happy with it. These PAPERMATEs were so much fun to use. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did. And please be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and ding the bell if you thought so. Okay guys, bye!